Hi lovelies! Today is the full moon in Cancer, January 3rd, 2026. This is an exciting reading as it is the first one of the year, and we are now in a new year ruled by the Wheel of Fortune. So, okay, Three of Wands. It's Capricorn season. It's a full moon. There's a new energy. Ooh, what flipped in the deck here? Okay. The Hierophant and Queen of Pentacles. I've also been trying to start up my daily tarot pool practice, and last night I pulled the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, we got Three of Wands, Nine of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, and the Hierophant. Okay, I can't make this up. I was looking at these cards, and then my dog Julie walked over to go sit in the bed because she's finally settling down, and she's feeling the calm energy, and as she walked over to her bed, she stepped on this card, the Hermit, which I did not even realize had flew out of the deck. So, we've still got the Hermit here. He's still present. I think that the energy of last year is kind of still over an overarching theme for the year, probably until February, probably until we go into that Chinese New Year and that little bit more of like where we actually start our new year. So don't feel bad if you haven't set any New Year's resolutions or intentions. I've just kind of been focusing on actionable items and doing things that are accessible and in my reach right now, and not really worrying about achieving goals, and just trying to still in this phase of being inward and understanding myself. And I think that's what the Hermit is. I also think it's funny that I kind of was ignoring it at first, but thanks, Julie. So, okay, the first card that I pulled was Three of Wands, and you can see him, you know, kind of doing what we're all doing right now, reflecting. When we start a new year, it is a great calendar time for reflection. There's always time for reflection, but society and our Western culture does not really honor those moments as much as they do during the new year. So let's take advantage of that. We should always be reflecting and reviewing, and you know, that's what retrogrades also allow us to do. But the Three of Wands, he is out looking onto some ships sailing there. He's got one wand in his hand and he has a few others. And to me, this kind of being flanked by these wands shows that there is support present, right? He has his hand on the one offering him support, and that could be the one person in your life or the one coping skill or that one thing that you do that really helps provide that support for you. But there is even more support with the Three of Wands. So how can we access that right now? Who can we be reaching out to is I think what this card is inviting us into. What actions, supportive actions can we be taking to support our health, our mental health, our physical health? Can we be reaching out to professionals, asking questions, or taking supplements, or you know, engaging in those coping skills like meditation or journaling, or even like the gifts we got for Christmas or whatever? Is there something that we can access right now that is new, or maybe we're not totally prioritizing, but that which will give us the, I don't want to keep using support, but give us what we need to be present and to review and do these things? But the Queen of Pentacles has this cute little bunny in the corner. She's also holding her resources here. I'm getting some kind of gratitude, you know, reminder here. But what is truly a key for the Queen of Pentacles is cultivating the ability to tend not only to ourselves, but those resources that we have. So if we have this lush, beautiful garden, oh, she's even got little mushrooms in this one, but we don't have the ability to tend to that garden, what will happen, right? So the same goes for abundance and manifestation and law of attraction. Like when we attract the things that we think we want, Queen of Pentacles invites us to first get into the space of being able to tend to those things, cultivating the time and energy it takes to have peace within ourselves. We are privileged enough to have, like, look at your privileges, kind of like a gratitude list, but another step forward with those actionable items attached to the gratitude, to the privilege. What are you thankful for? Are you grateful for the shelter and the home that you have? Is there a space in your home that's not being used to its full advantage to tend to your well-being? So if there's an empty room that you're using for storage, can you turn that room into a Zen room or a workout room or whatever? If there is cabinets full of stuff, food that you've bought but you're not eating, can you donate some of that food and then fill it with stuff that will nourish you? How are you tending to these things that will allow you to feel peace of mind? I could go on and on about this card. I am so excited about working with the Queen of Pentacles right now. She is such an anchor and an ally for me, which is in what I'm doing is trying to cultivate peace. And I think that this can be such a beautiful card for anyone who right now might feel a little just not lost, but like aimless, like what direction, what's the next step, you know? We can dive deep into that, but I'm going to keep moving on. The Hierophant, the 5th card in the Major Arcana. I was just talking about the Hierophant last night with my husband and about what it looks like, what, how it feels to be on a journey of gaining knowledge and wisdom. And that journey is for anyone who is willing to ask questions. And chances are, if you're watching my tarot readings and if you follow what I do, you are also a very naturally curious soul. And traditionally, the Hierophant is a guide or a mentor, and he is the archetype who is presenting you with the keys of wisdom, and these people are his followers. However, I really want to key into the fact that the Hierophant is within us, and that knowledge and that light that we can find from a guru is actually something that we have total and free access to within ourselves. And so what does that mirror and projection look like for you? Because it's all right there. I was talking about this yesterday because a lot of our time can be spent on our phone. It's just easily, naturally what our new culture is about. It's not new. It's what it is. My newest practice right now has been when I find myself scrolling on my phone, I instead hop over to reading or writing. And it doesn't have to be a physical movement because I just do what's easiest and I use my phone to read or write. So the book that I'm reading right now, I have access to it on my phone, and I just switch over my app over to my Chrome browser where I'm reading a book, which is my book club book, and I start reading, and I open up my docs, my Word docs, and I take notes. But also you can open your notes app and start writing. Me and my friend have been writing poetry, and we'll be talking, and we'll find ourselves talking shit about something or gossiping, and we shift our focus and say, hey, you know what, let's write a poem together. We're feeling chatty enough, let's come up with some words, and we'll give ourselves a prompt, and we learn more about ourselves. That's what the Hierophant is about. Okay, the Nine of Wands. This one is interesting. I think that this one is underneath. I put it underneath because on the surface we're in reflection and we're, accessing our resources. Underneath, there still is a theme of scarcity and fear and anxiety around losing what we do have. And I'm kind of getting 4 of Pentacles out of this Nine of Wands. So let me pull another card for clarification, because there is pride and there is, you know, those times to be like really just like, yeah, not afraid to like talk about where you've been and what your story is and how you got here, and those actions that you took to get there should be something that, you know, you're not gatekeeping. They should be you should tell people about this. You'd be surprised who will learn or who will also need to hear that, not advice, but that story that you're telling them, even though you might be like, oh, this is just like, you know, what I did. It could really impact somebody. And also, we can be ashamed of it a little bit. So trying to get some clarification. This is definitely going to be a longer of a reading, but I don't care. Okay, so I'm going to move these over. Nine of Wands with some clarifying cards, the Star and Page of Cups. Okay. So now we're getting into our emotions. We're getting some clarification on how this is going to feel, or why the Nine of Wands is coming up. And it's hopeful. It's actually less about the fear that I was thinking and more about timing, I would say, with the Star. And again, we're getting that February kind of Aquarius energy here. And then Page of Cups, looking not necessarily within, but looking at ourselves in the mirror and being honest about where our heart is and where our energy is going. And if we are not putting that energy towards ourselves, what are we doing? If we are overextending our resources for the sake of what we think is some noble cause, it's not at all what we should be doing with that energy of the Nine of Wands. What we should be doing is, again, using those resources and those privileges to love ourselves. To me, Page of Cups is always about loving the self. And it could be being open to love, sure, but you can't be open to love if you are not taking care of yourself. That's just kind of par for the course. So the Star, I have a tinge of optimism here, and I love that for us. And yeah, we see that even when she is not pouring directly into the pond, that some of that will come back to us, right? So some of that is karmic. Some of the stuff that we are going to be experiencing the next month or two is out of our control. And to some people, that may not feel like a positive thing or something to be optimistic about, but for someone who is just trying to cultivate peace and not trying to worry about anything else, leaving stuff out of my control is what I'm learning to accept. And with the wheel, even, is what we are going to be seeing, that a lot of stuff is going to be moving for us in a much more easeful way that we need to learn right now and remember right now to kind of back off of trying to control outcomes and every little thing and doing it in a specific way, and let things go and flow. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stars. 8 stars. That's significant to anybody. To me, 8, infinity, love, accessing infinite love is like a huge part of the Star, and knowing that those blessings are totally there for you and available in any situation, especially when you feel undeserving of those things. The Star is here to remind you that you absolutely can access those guides, those angels, the spirits that can give you infinite love and help you with what you need and getting results. So we may not get the results right now, but if we aren't easing out and you know, looking in the mirror instead of projecting ourselves on our problems onto other people, we are not going to get access to those blessings. So that's what's really key here. And I think that with the Hierophant and the Hermit being present as the inner world, you know, really focus on learning right now, getting wisdom, and integrating everything that you've learned about yourself, use this next month to integrate what you learned about yourself the last year, and then we will be able to access some of this very, very fruitful results. So I hope everybody a beautiful, restful, peaceful beginning to this new year. Thank you so much for always popping in and seeing what's going on energetically. I just love being able to share this and give some guidance to anybody who is looking for it, because we all deserve access for it. I am hoping to really do some bookings, so if you are curious or unsure, like, now is the time to get a reading. Maybe the wheel is spinning really fast right now, so get your readings in, and then it's gonna start doing that thing where it's like click, 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 click. You know what I mean? Like at the Wheel of Fortune. Anyway, if you enjoy my readings, please like, share, subscribe, send to your friends. I always appreciate it. I love you, and Happy New Year!